there's a lot of kids in Philly that put on house shows and do house shows, and touring bands, local bands play these house shows. Yeah. It's just their house. Like, they're throwing a party and having bands play. But now this sort of thing is trying to squish that. And it's just like, they're trying to get some kind of local music scene. As shitty as it is, as shitty as the local music scene is, they're trying to do things, and all they want to do is shut down all the music. Like,
what I find amazing is that this comes right after they now announced that if you're caught with a very small amount of marijuana, they're not going to arrest you for it. And this is all in the name of saving money for the budget of Philly.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think you should be arrested for having a small amount of marijuana, but that's not the motivation of the law. The motivation now is like to save a buck. Same thing with fender benders. They're instructed not to come out. Cops are not going to respond to little fender benders. All in the name of saving money. But what about this shit with the music? Is that not going to create a whole new pile of paperwork that some some state or city worker is going to have to be paid in order to sort through?
Well, yeah.
And how does that? Wouldn't that just counteract what you just did with the?
I'm not sure of the job description of the chief of police, but like, I would hope that the chief of police of Philadelphia, the fifth largest city in the United States, would have better things to do than sign off on band shows.
Place where about 400 people get shot to death every year.
Right, exactly. But like, he has nothing better to do than go through paperwork. Oh, this band can play. This band can play.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, how about we go? You want to play a song or something? You still got more to say about this?
All I have to say is this is just one of the ways that they're trying to get you to control yourself. They want you to see this, and they want you to get scared, and they want you to not do anything.
Right.
What you should do is you should keep doing, myself and the other sovereign people were educating the public, that what you should do is keep doing things the way you have been doing.
Yeah, wait for them.
But you have to change your definitions. The wording in this ordinance is so bad. It's so easy to fight. I could fight this in court. I am not a promoter. We are not compensating anybody. These are not performers. This is not...
but they define what a promoter is, so I guess that would be the basis of their argument.
A promoter is directly or indirectly responsible for the organization of an event. Well, this is not an event. As evidenced by activities such as contracting with the principals, well, we're not contracting.
There's no contract.
Selecting entertainment. Well, this isn't entertainment. These are... Do you call this entertainment? Listen to these people. They're just jerking off on stage. They're trying to do it for their advertising.
We're just here because we feel bad for them.
We're
not entertained.
We are not amused.
We should have affidavits. We'll have all the audience sign on their way out stating that they were definitively that they were not entertained.
Yeah, this is the word. They bought T-shirts because they felt bad for them.
The way they have promoter defined in here, anyone who invites participants to an event. So if you're on Facebook and you pass on a flyer, then you're a promoter now, and you can get fined because of something wrong.
Or what if you're like, hey Nancy, I'm gonna be at this club seeing my friend's band. Why don't you meet me there for a drink?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a promoter.
or for example, or what if I know that we're not in Philadelphia, but what if we were and we're having band practice, and I'm like, yo, Lou, Britt, why don't you guys come over while we're having band practice? Like, I don't know.
Show,
I'm just promoting a show in my basement, like.
Unreal, man.
Right, so learn your Fifth Amendment rights, because if you don't reserve your Fifth Amendment rights, then this document will trample all over your First Amendment rights. You don't let it get to you, and just do your thing and just fight it in court. I'll come with you.
One thing, just to poop in the Sunday. Philly music scene sucks and
horrible.
I'm not saying they deserve this, but I know there are a lot of shit bands, and it's like a bitter part of me actually feels happy that a lot of crappy, weak bands that should have never existed in the first place now have to go through more paperwork.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of agree with that, but then, the handful of, it's already, like you said, it's already some weak shit.
Yeah.
And, now it's just also going to make it hard for the 5 bands in Philadelphia that actually are good. They're going to have to move, which then just deadens... the scene even more, whatever semblance of a scene that there is. But, it's just, I don't know, because that's a whole nother subject, because speaking of those house shows, my band, because of basically that whole promoter, sketch thing that we played before this segment, we tried booking house shows, and we were just completely ignored because we're not seen enough. We don't sound like every other band that there is. So, they're just like, oh, yeah, you know what? You guys... We even went to check out this one house. Me and the drummer in my band went to check out this one house, and there was 5 bands, I think. I can't even remember because they all sounded exactly the same. Like, we couldn't even tell, like, when one band had switched. Like, there would just be silence and then more music, and I just assumed that, you know, I guess a band changed because they all sound exactly the same.
All right, let's go to some music. Let's try to listen. All right.
That was Visions of... Vision of Disorder.
Vision of